Residents of Hollywood, thank you for taking a moment to listen to the State of the City. It's a presentation that I make every year to the Greater Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, and this year was great because we were able to present it at the really start of the new year, the first week of 2023, which we all know as a new year, a time of great optimism, inspiration, a time when we resolve to better ourselves and reinvigorate ourselves personally and professionally to be the best we can be in life and in our work. So it's my pleasure to be here to deliver to you the State of the City. So let's get right to it. Hollywood's purpose and mission is to provide our residents and businesses with a thriving community where quality living and the opportunity for success is made available to all of us. We have a vision to make Hollywood South Florida's top city to live, learn, work, invest, and play. And we recognize that amidst the vibrancy of the many cities in South Florida, that this is a bold vision. But our pride in Hollywood is driving us with great enthusiasm to do our best to realize it. Because we know the gem that Hollywood is, situated here at what is referred to as the 50-yard line of South Florida. And as you football fans know, those are the best seats in the house, right? So to lead Hollywood toward this destination, we adopted and are executing upon a strategic plan that aligns all municipal activities toward achieving our vision to ensure that Hollywood's city leadership is making calculated decisions while we manage the precious resources we have to work with year to year. So let's review where we are and what's to come in 2023. In the context of our strategic focus areas and goals, it's historic and it's a big lift. So for a city to be successful, it must ensure that its finances and general administration activities are well managed. And that begins with maintaining a sustainable city budget, one that controls expenses and maximizes the opportunities for revenue generation. For fiscal year 23, our operating budget totals $672 million and represents a turning point for our city, as this is the first structurally balanced budget in over a decade where revenue equaled expenditures, 17% in reserves was maintained and not used to help balance the budget, and new appropriations were not implemented unless they were offset by new revenue sources, existing revenue sources increased, or other expenditures were reduced. So now, speaking of revenues, we all know whether or not you're managing a house or a business or the city, what we can provide for our family or our customers or our employees, and in our case our city, all starts with how much money we can make our enterprise generate, what we have to work with year after year. And for a city, the largest revenue source we have is the taxable value of the real estate in our city, residential, commercial, and industrial. And we're fortunate in Hollywood that this year our taxable real estate values increased by a whopping 11.5%. That's way above average and amounts to now a $21 billion total value for the Hollywood. That's a record total, and it's $5.8 billion or 39% better than each of the record years of the past 5 years, with a flat operating tax rate, which I'm sure you're happy about. And we can thank this current real estate market and the new development that we've been able to usher in for those incredible numbers, because regardless of what happens on the revenue side from year to year, up or down, the city's annual required contributions for pensions, employee health care costs, our overall operating expenses in general, are of course projected to keep rising on their own. Fiscal sustainability requires decision-making and governance that is future-oriented and ensures that a local government can protect the public health, safety, and welfare of the present and future generations. So in 2023, we will continue to make efforts to supplement our funding by increasing the pursuit of state and federal grants, reorganizing city departments where efficiency can be found, and we will keep pursuing new economic development, especially at a time when the value of existing residential real estate has reached a peak and is beyond affordable to most families. With housing demand and the cost of housing and childcare and insurance in South Florida at an all-time high, our region must grow the housing supply at all levels, affordable, workforce, market rate, to keep prices from skyrocketing further. And we're doing our part in Hollywood. In 2022, we cut the ribbon on a beautiful new affordable housing project called Hudson Village. It's on Washington Street and Federal Highway. And this year, we'll see the start of construction of a mixed income project called University Station on the corner of 21st Avenue and Polk Street downtown. That'll begin construction in March. Also, by Young Circle, the Tropic Workforce and Market Rate Project, which will be on Van Buren Street and Federal Highway, is looking to break ground this spring as well. So lots of projects coming up, lots of need, and city manager, we got to get those permits issued, right? Across the whole spectrum, homeowners to big projects. We need to improve that, and we're working on it. And the Pinnacle Affordable Project on State Road 7 and Johnson Street just celebrated its topping off. So that's exciting. Each of these projects will bring new housing and vibrancy along key commercial corridors and have been years in the making. with support from federal, state, county, and city incentive programs at times. We are the state's 12th largest city by population today, at about 153,000 residents. And our population growth rate has been growing steadily at about a 0.8% per year clip since 2010. Looking out to 2045, Broward County's municipal population forecast and allocation model projects and allocates to Hollywood about the same growth rate over the next 20 years. What that means is, for our supply to meet community demand and for prices to be kept somewhat affordable over the next 25 years, with an average household size of 2.57 people, it means that Hollywood needs to maintain a pipeline of at least about 500 new dwelling units per year to keep up with demand, depending on the unit mix, as families grow and kids graduate from college and want a home of their own. So we need to make room for that, and we should look forward to welcoming new residents. They bring new economic growth and new families to Hollywood at a time when it seems that more and more homes are sold to vacation rental companies. We much prefer new permanent residents and families than short-term rentals. So to all the realtors who might be watching, please remember to embrace the true single-family home buyer. Permanent residents open businesses, they contribute to our workforce, enroll their kids in our neighborhood schools, and patronize our local businesses. They're the foundation of our community. So if you want a strong and stable community, overloading on vacation rentals is not the answer. Please keep that in mind as you speak with buyers and sellers. So to come back to population, in a city of about 60,000 dwelling units, which is where Hollywood is right now, those additional 500 units that we need each year to accommodate natural population growth represents an increase of less than 1% a year. So we can accommodate that growth rate, but with the highs and lows of the real estate development cycles, it means that we need to usher in the growth when the market is there, and it'll come in waves and cycles like today, and not one piece at a time. And so most of our city's growth will, of course, as you know, be in and around our downtown and the regional activity center that we've identified and zoned between Federal Highway and Dixie Highway, as you can see with the projects that are already planned, completed, or are under construction in this area today. But we expect more opportunity will come along State Road 7, Federal Highway, Dixie Highway, and our east-west corridors like Pembroke Road, Hollywood Boulevard, Sheridan Street, and Sterling Road. We have targeted these commercial corridors as the areas most appropriate for our growth. We already are seeing the start of that evolution today, and we're looking to see more, as old and outdated properties are thoughtfully reimagined by new ownership. Another promising area is the stretch of and surrounding blocks of Hollywood Boulevard between City Hall and I-95. I like to refer to that area as Midtown. It's got Tri-Rail about a walk away, great restaurants and coffee shops. K-Rico Coffee is there. Fitness studios, service businesses, and schools are already in place right in that small vicinity. It makes for a great pedestrian-friendly area to live in our city. So hopefully the projects that we've already approved for those surrounding blocks will be constructed so that Midtown can actually become a reality. I like to highlight, of course, each year the larger catalyst projects that we have in the city, but today we have a lot to get through, and I want to focus on all the public improvements that we are making this year. I'd like to refer you to and let you know about this public and private investment dashboard that we now have on our city's website. It allows you to see all the details of all the public projects and the private projects that are identified at our city and are in construction or going to breakaway. And so the direct link for that is on the city's homepage. Just look at the What's Happening section. Over 200 projects listed over there right now. And that's a great segue to our strategic focus area of economic vitality. We know that a local economy is not just about dwelling units. It's also about, of course, attracting and retaining businesses and creating jobs. And it's about staying competitive in the marketplace so businesses can grow and form strong relationships with the community. And so our Economic Development Department is working to attract growth in targeted industry clusters that, in order to create more high-wage, high-value jobs and expand our economy, including with startups and supporting entrepreneurship. And for Hollywood, so you know, our healthcare, aviation, tech, marine, professional service, and hospitality, those are the key drivers, just to name the main ones. Speaking of hospitality and tourism, Hollywood's hotel and small lodging properties continue to generate almost 20% of Broward's tourism development tax, which is paid by the room night by tourists. And so with about 6.5 million local and out-of-state visitors to Hollywood Beach each year, and landmark properties like, of course, the Diplomat Beach Resort, where I gave this State of the City address, and which has continued to reinvest in itself since its original heyday as a national hotspot. under the management of Hollywood families that were present during my speech, the Cowan family. We really have a lot to be thankful for the families that made Hollywood what it is and continue to do so today. They continue to bring entertainment to our city and produce concerts and reinvest in our city, and that creates jobs, and we're thankful for all families who contribute to make Hollywood what it is. So now, let's talk infrastructure, improvements, and facilities. My favorite part. Every day our community, of course, depends on having reliable infrastructure and public facilities that support your ability to live, learn, work, invest, and enjoy our city. And our city teams are working to maintain and improve our infrastructure, of course, each year, year in and year out, through implementation of various capital improvement plans that the City Commission approves and prioritizes. And this year, we have quite the list of capital improvements, and they're scheduled to break ground this year. It's one of the things that I'm most excited about, like I said, and why being a part of public service is so rewarding. So let's talk about what we just completed from our parks team in 2022. We installed new playground equipment and shade covers at Zinkel, Jefferson, John Williams, Sal Oliveri, and the 441 Linear Parks, as well as Marigalanti Park, where we dedicated and named the new playground as Officer Yandy Chirino Playground as an everlasting honor and salute to the fallen officer and his service to our community. We installed new soccer field turf in West Hollywood and Dowdy Field and made improvements to the basketball courts at the MLK, Kay Gaither, and Washington Park community centers. And the first phase of improvements was made as well to Holland Park. And this year, let's talk about 2023, we have new playgrounds coming to the Arts Park, the Lakes of Emerald Hills Park, Cooser Park, Stan Goldman Park, McNichol Community Center, and Driftwood Park. We have a new concrete skateboard park coming to Stan Goldman's Justice Skate Park, along with 2 new pickleball courts and a new 10-foot wide pathway and pedestrian lighting and improvements to the dog park at Stan Goldman. There are also 4 new pickleball courts to be built at Jefferson Park by Federal Highway in the Lakes neighborhood. And artificial turf fields are to be installed at Dowdy Field. Improvements also to the Hollywood Marina's fueling station will be made as we continue to seek funding for our newly adopted Marina Master Plan. New exercise equipment will be installed at Oak Ridge Park. Pathway renovations will take place at Joe DiMaggio, Zinkel, John Williams, and Marigalanti Parks. New floating docks will be installed at Holland Park, and the observation tower there will be refurbished as well. New bottle filler fountains will also be installed at many of our parks and community centers as we look to reduce the use of single-use plastics. We'll also be pursuing indoor pickleball for seniors and more teen programming, partnering with Memorial to provide aquatic exercise classes and games for seniors. And those are just the highlights for 2023 from Parks. Pretty amazing, right? Hollywood definitely needs it, and I'm so glad that we have this underway in 2023 with more to come in 24. From our engineering team this year, we'll have select street and alley resurfacing completed in each of our City Commission districts, east to west, north to south in Hollywood, and we'll be constructing new sidewalks and ADA improvements, creating safer routes to neighborhood schools. A new crosswalk on Taft Street as well between the YMCA and Rotary Park is important, and that's in addition to the repaving, drainage, and sidewalk repair that's almost done along North Park Road by TY Park, North 58th Avenue, Sarrazin, and Washington Street. Citywide, we'll be able to complete designs for our neighborhood bicycle greenways and designing phase 2 of our neighborhood traffic calming program. We also hope to complete the county funding process for the large Washington Park Industrial Park Utility Improvement Project. That includes drainage, you name it. It's a lot of work there, and we'll hope to get that funding completed with the county this year and start to get going. From our Public Works team this year, we have citywide roadway beautification projects where you've already might have seen already that we've installed new landscaping and trees along 12 miles of our main corridors, and that'll continue. These streets haven't looked better in a long time. Driving down Sheridan, Hollywood Boulevard, Pembroke, and Sterling, you can already see what a beautiful difference the new Florida-friendly landscaping has made to the feeling of those roads, and I thank the team for their ongoing work on this. And 46th Avenue too will have landscaping improvements completed by this team as well. From our CRA team this year, this includes the beach and downtown. Starting with the beach, let's talk about that we'll be renewing the Broadwalk LED lights on the knee wall with new watertight fixtures. We'll be completing the installation of the vehicle access management gates for the Broadwalk, the undergrounding of overhead utilities along A1A. That'll be substantially completed, and we'll be starting a massive 4-year, $50 million project to underground utilities and rebuild and raise 18 of the side streets that lead from A1A to the Broadwalk, and the beach, of course, between Harrison and Magnolia Terrace. That's south of Hollywood Boulevard. That's a significant resiliency project, as well as a major beautification project with streetscape improvements like pavered side streets, and completing, of course, and will be similar to the previous phases that we've already done that work on Central Beach. So we're really buttoning things up on the beach. We'll be working to install new nearshore artificial mermaid coral reefs at 4 locations offshore in the water. 2 of them will be off of North Beach Park, 1 off of Keating Park, and 1 off of Harry Berry Park on the beach. That's in addition to the just installed 1,000 Mermaids Reef that we put in the water about a mile offshore of the Diplomat Beach Resort. I don't know if any of you saw the recent segment on Channel 10 with Louis Aguirre. He dove the reef with us about a month after it was installed, and we all loved it. Keating Park, which is of course just north of the Diplomat, will be a site of major renovations as well, and we'll be beginning to improve the Broadwalk's lighting to be even more turtle friendly across the Broadwalk in advance, hopefully, of the upcoming turtle season or the one after that. Downtown, from our CRA team, we'll be beginning to oversee a transformative streetscape construction project that will beautify the historic segment of Hollywood Boulevard. Downtown will have new, wider sidewalks, cafe space, trees, and lighting on each side of the boulevard, and it'll be a fresh and functional look and use for all of us to enjoy. From our public utilities team this year, again, we'll be improving lift stations and pump stations and overseeing septic to sewer conversions. For this year, all we can do is a small section in Hollywood Hills by Memorial Hospital. And pending completion of Broward County's surtax funding process, we'll also start the replacement of, again, the Washington Park Industrial Park's sewer and water main. Royal Point Sienna, the neighborhood there will see undergo utility improvements, and the long-awaited repavement of 26th Avenue between Sheridan and Taft Street, much needed, will take place now that the water main replacement project is close to completion there. We hope to get that work done by May of 2023. Last, and at over a cost of $100 million, this year we'll be close to completing the deep injection well project at our regional wastewater plant. That will put an end to the outfall of treated wastewater into our ocean. It's an important environmental project. Now, from our design and construction management team, we'll start 10 general obligation bond projects this year, including neighborhood sound walls, the Dowdy Armory building being converted to a sports facility, the Arts Park improvements, Phase 1 of our neighborhood traffic calming program, Rotary Park improvements, gateway and neighborhood signs throughout the city, the railroad corridor, Dixie Highway, the FEC corridor will see safety and landscaping improvements. The Hollywood Beach Golf Course will start construction for its renewal. Tidal flooding mitigation and new living shorelines and the seawalls for North Lake and South Lake will start, and the Art and Culture Center expansion as well. And the same DCM team will also be managing other capital improvement projects across the city, including the second floor library interior fit out for the building division and other departments, overseeing the installation of hundreds of new trees this year to complete the recent 14th 56th Avenue and Pembroke Road bike lane road resurfacing and drainage projects, the State Road 7 Mobility Hub in Linear Park, Avant-Garde Safe Routes to School Sidewalks project, the Surf Road and Balboa Street hardening project as well, and the Fletcher Street wall, and this month, FDOT's beginning of resurfacing US 1 as well. And last but definitely not least, the much awaited irrigation and landscaping project for Hollywood Boulevard from that section between City Hall and Dixie Highway. That's finally underway, and soon, finally, the trees will be coming in. I am so excited about all these 2023 capital improvement projects and the tree planting projects, and I hope you are too. All of this will get underway this year, and big thanks to all of our teams. This has all been years in the making, so let's get ready for some construction and beautification in Hollywood. I know you're ready as I am. Now, some of these projects and endeavors require intergovernmental engagement and partnerships, of course, and we're taking every opportunity to engage. For example, in 2022, we were awarded $16 million from the Resilient Florida Fund. That doubles the money we have to enable us to complete all the phases of the public seawall and tidal flooding mitigation projects that will help us protect the Hollywood Lakes neighborhood from tidal flooding. The same fund also awarded Broward County $18 million to improve and raise the shoreline of Hollywood North Beach Park for the same purpose. Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she just assisted us as well in securing $3.5 million in federal funding for improvements to the systems of our wastewater treatment plant, not to mention American Rescue Plan dollars that we're putting to good work this year. We're also continuing to invest record dollars in Hollywood's older neighborhoods through the landmark 2018 interlocal agreement that we struck with Broward County, which shifts county dollars that were previously restricted for investment only on Hollywood Beach into dollars that are now available for a wide variety of housing projects to preserve the quality and affordability of houses that already exist in our city's low to moderate income neighborhoods. Over 100 homeowner-occupied rehab projects were completed or are currently in process. So far, 32 families were already able to buy their first home with the assistance of some of these projects and programs. New affordable housing units are being developed. Over 27 residents received job training, and over 15,000 linear feet, that's about 3 miles of a new sidewalk, was constructed, and much more already. There are millions of dollars available to residents in these neighborhood pride programs right now. I encourage you to go to our city website and look up neighborhood pride programs. This $100 million agreement will continue through and last over the next 15 years or so. So it's very significant, and it continues to bear fruit. And after years of work and visioning, downtown Hollywood has been designated by Broward County and DOT now for a Broward commuter rail train station. We're building, that's exciting. We're also building 340 parking spaces, public parking spaces, to accommodate that. And the Hollywood station, it might be the first Broward station to be completed, together with the station at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport and Broward General Hospital to connect us at first with all the stations already constructed and flowing down in Miami-Dade County. We all know how exciting local rail is on the FEC tracks for downtown, for our city, our county, and again, our region at large. We're also working with the county to begin the city's community shuttle program and a micro-transit pilot project, everything to enhance mobility. We have to thank, of course, our County Commissioner Beam for his partnership and helping to get many of these projects done. He's behind a lot of it. Thank you, Beam. It's a pleasure working with you. We will also be pursuing a project with Dania Beach. I'm excited about this one, and the Florida State Park System to improve an existing path at Hollywood's Meisel Johnson State Park, that's formerly known as John U. Lloyd's Park, to make the path there bikeable and improve its connectivity so that Hollywood and Dania Beach residents can enjoy 2.5 more miles of pathway from the Dania Beach Pier all the way through Port Everglades Inlet. Imagine being able to walk or ride your bike along the beach from Keating Park, that's just north of the Diplomat, through a new 1 mile section of path between 2 sea oat dunes that we'll look to install, then along, of course, the Broad Walk, north through North Beach Park, Surf Road, Dania Beach, and all the way north through the natural beauty of the state park to Port Everglades Inlet. That would create almost 7 miles of connected beach pathway for our residents to enjoy and make our best asset even better. I really hope we can make that happen. Another exciting intergovernmental opportunity that we're exploring with the county is for a new South Regional Courthouse and Government Services Center at Hollywood Boulevard and Park Road. Once our new police headquarters building is completed in a few years, the current police site will be available for a new use, and we believe the courthouse could be a great and prominent fit for that corner. Public safety is, of course, a critical aspect of the thriving community, and quality law enforcement and reliable emergency services are among, of course, our top priorities. They ensure a strong foundation for a healthy and safe city for our residents. Our Hollywood Police Department works day in and day out to provide effective law enforcement to ensure the safety of our residents, businesses, and our visitors. HPD this year earned the highest reaccreditation, and their professionalism and community policing approach, notable arrests, and low crime stats continue to make us all proud. Thank you, HPD. In 2022, I'd like you to know that we equipped HPD with new radios, vehicles, body-worn cameras. The Marine Unit has expanded coverage, and much more funding is lined up for the Homeless Action Team and much more. In 2023, we're funding 7 additional sworn officer positions, and HPD will lead efforts to launch a community court. It's a service referral program to address homelessness issues, and we're also expanding technology to help HPD in its operational effectiveness and investigative abilities. Thank you, Chief O'Brien, to you, your command staff, and all the sworn and civilian team members at HPD. You'll always have our support. Providing quality emergency medical services is also, of course, a core responsibility of our local government. And Hollywood Fire Rescue and Beach Safety is a Class A1 department that we know is second to none. In 2022, they responded to over 30,000 fire and EMS calls and provided first aid and rescue to thousands of times on Hollywood Beach. We hired 22 new firefighters through the FEMA Safer Grant last year, and we're funding new ambulances, fire trucks, and breathing apparatus, and much more. In 2023, we created 5 certified fire prevention officer positions and increased funding for additional apparatus. All this equipment is what's used to rescue us during a medical emergency, so it's essential to renew and a top priority for us. Thank you, Chief Booker, Fire Chief Booker, and all of our fire rescue and beach safety crews. Finally, to improve our city's environmental resilience and sustainability. We know we must employ effective and sustainable practices to manage resources, funds, and assets, and that effective management can only be achieved if we collaborate with our federal, state, and county partners to respond to all the expected and unexpected challenges in this area. In Hollywood, we're striving to make our city a model of sustainability by recognizing the environment as an asset. And as such, we work to reduce the impacts of municipal operations and empower residents, business owners, employees, and visitors to partner with the city in taking bold, proactive, evidence-based actions to create a resilient, accessible, attractive, healthy, and prosperous city. In addition to the resiliency projects that I've already mentioned, we're taking action in a number of other innovative ways. First, any new building we construct to a green building standard that focuses on water savings, energy efficiency, material selection, waste reduction, and more. Partnering with a company called Noresco, we're identifying citywide opportunities to reduce energy consumption and convert thousands more streetlights to brighter and more energy efficient LED lights. We'll also be increasing access to electric vehicle charging stations over the years and designing new city facilities to be solar ready. Transit-oriented developments will create new living spaces around transit corridors such as State Road 7 and the Broward Commuter Rail station project that I mentioned to you about for downtown Hollywood. We're updating our floodplain management plan and completing phase 1 of our city's stormwater master plan. And in the years to come, the 45-acre site of the former Sunset Golf Course, which we all purchased as a city property, will be converted to be the largest city-owned public park, including nature trails, play areas, Florida-friendly landscaping, and stormwater retention areas. In 2023, a citywide vulnerability assessment and adaptation plan will also assess the city's assets, our critical infrastructure, all the systems, evacuation routes, important county public private assets like hospitals, schools, assisted living facilities, all to identify the areas that need improvement for hardening. Recapture the Swale program is focusing on restoring the usefulness of our swales as a green stormwater infrastructure solution across our city. Control valves along North and South Lake and the Intracoastal Waterway will be installed to prevent tidal water from continuing to flow back into the drainage system and out onto the streets in those areas. It's also a focus area. As is, of course, beach renourishment, functional dune planting, septic to sewer conversions. That's a huge one that we're looking to find the correct funding for from the state or the federal government. And we'll also be encouraging the sustainability of private infrastructure through education programs and regulatory action when needed. Sustainability requires decision-making and governance that is future-oriented and ensures that a local government can protect the public health and safety and the welfare of our present and future generations. So as we embark on all of this, we know that it's important for us to keep our residents and stakeholders informed and actively engaged so that we can increase public involvement and awareness of all these city programs. As a city, we must stay committed to seizing economic growth opportunities, to ever improve civic communication and engagement, to usher in competitive economic vitality, well-managed finances and administration, invest in our infrastructure and facilities, and support our professional law enforcement and emergency services as an ever top priority. We have to ensure the quality of life and strong neighborhoods for our residents. And in everything we do, make sure that we employ effective and sustainable practices to ensure we rise to any challenge that may come our city's way. With integrity, professionalism, a spirit of innovation that empowers big picture thinking and creativity by allowing fresh ideas that are unafraid to challenge the status quo, teamwork, and knowing that when we bring our best and do our best, we foster a sense of pride in our work for our city that energizes those around us to have the same and do the same. Thank you for your time and attention. It's an honor to serve as your mayor. Let's go Hollywood, and God bless. Thank you so much.